Swamiji, pranam. I'm not able to see you on the screen actually.
Namaskar.
Pranam Maharajji.
Okay.
Maharajji, I'm not able to see you on screen.
Now, are you able to see now?
Yes, sir. You are visible, sir. Pranam.
I'm not able to see you.
Now visible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir,
now visible. Now
yes, sir.
No, again disappeared for me. Swamiji.
Yes.
Yeah, now I can. So we start, Dr. Ishita?
Yes, it's 4 o'clock. We can start now.
Again, yeah. Swamiji, again it is disappeared.
Dolly, madam, please start the proceedings.
You can start.
I'm not able to see. Yeah.
It's 4 o'clock.
You can start.
Good afternoon, audience. My devoted pranam to Revered Swami Nikhileswarananda Ji Maharaj and my pranam to Revered Swami Shankareshwarananda Ji Maharaj. I welcome our Honorable Chairman Dr. S.K. Singh of BA College of Engineering and Technology, Principal Mr. U.C. Singh, all the faculties, all HODs, students of BA College of Engineering and Technology, and I welcome all the participants from various colleges from various parts of India in today's webinar on effective mantras to develop positive personality with leadership traits, organized by Department of Basic Science and Humanities, BA College of Engineering and Technology, Jamshedpur. Let me give a brief introduction about the college. BA College of Engineering and Technology, Jamshedpur was established in the year 2007. It is affiliated to Kolhan University, Chaibasa, and Jharkhand University of Technology, Ranchi, and is approved by AICTE New Delhi, recognized by Department of Science and Technology, Government of Jharkhand. We are having 5 branches: mechanical engineering, civil engineering, computer science and engineering, electronics and communication engineering, electrical and electronics engineering. Apart from excellent academic ambience and good infrastructure, well-equipped labs, highly qualified and well-experienced faculties have made the college an ideal academic destination for the students. In the past 3 years, more than 80% students have been placed in various reputed organizations. And we have signed MOU with Tata Steel Jamshedpur. Most of our management members are from Tata Steel, and they are very much interested in overall self-development of the student so that they can be a good technocrat as well as a good human being. Dear audience, we are fortunate enough that Revered Swami Nikhileswarananda Ji Maharaj has kindly consented to be among us today evening. Let us warmly welcome Swamiji and privileged to give a brief introduction of Swamiji. You should know about him because you'll be listening to him, who is one of the most inspiring speaker of the country today. Revered Swami Nikhileswarananda Ji is a senior monk of the Ramakrishna Mission. Currently, he is the head of Rajkot branch, center of Ramakrishna Mission. Ramakrishna Mission was started by Swami Vivekananda in 1897 with his headquarters in Belur Math, near Kolkata. Presently, the organization has 218 branch centers all over the world. Revered Swamiji is graduated in chemical engineering honors in 1970 and postgraduate in industrial engineering in 1972. After working for a short period as a management consultant, he renounced the world and joined the Ramakrishna Order at his headquarters at Belur Math in 1976. He was then posted to Ranchi, Jharkhand from 1977 to 1986, where he guided the rural and tribal development project Divan Krishi Vigyan Kendra, which later received the award of the best KVK of the country. Later, for 11 years, he edited the Gujarati monthly Sri Ramakrishna Jyot, published from Sri Ramakrishna Ashram, Rajkot, Gujarat. He was the head of Porabandar Center for 8 years, 1990 from 1998 to 2005. He was instrumental in consulting 37 school buildings and 3 colonies in Porabandar districts as a part of earthquake rehabilitation project, and in starting Vivekananda Institute of Values, Education and Culture, which was inaugurated by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the then President of India, on January 12, 2006. From 2005 to 2017, he was the head of Vadodara Center. He was instrumental in converting Dilaram Bungalow, where Swami Vivekananda stayed for some time in 1892, into a befitting memorial of Swami Vivekananda, which was handed by the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, Sri Narendra Modi ji, to Ramakrishna Mission on 18th April 2005. Swamiji tours extensively throughout the country in industrial houses, academic institutions, including premier institutions like IITs and other management institutions, preaching self-management, self-development based on Vedanta philosophy. He has also conducted large numbers of programs and training sessions in reputed corporate houses based on Swami Vivekananda's ideas of national development. He has contributed a large number of articles on various topics in English, Hindi, Gujarati journals. His books, Happiness and Peace in Everyday Life, and most popular, Teacher as a Torch Bearer of Change, are quite popular. He has visited many countries for preaching the universal message of Vedanta and addressed many international conferences. He has been invited to offer special tribute to Swami Vivekananda during celebration of Diwali and Hindu Heritage Month organized by government of, I think, the Parliament of World Religion at Toronto in 2008. So audience, it is indeed my privilege and pleasure to present you Swamiji, who is going to give a talk on effective mantras to develop positive personality with leadership traits. So Swamiji, we are here looking forward to hear you keenly. A large number of, I think, viewers on the from our webinar platform and Facebook Live are watching this program, and they are actually keenly waiting to hear you. They are waiting to hear you. So once again, a warm welcome to Swamiji and Swamiji for being with us this evening. Over to Swamiji. Thank you.
Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashchit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Dear friends, I am extremely happy to meet you all through this media. Of course, a direct meeting would have been much more palatable, but because of the coronavirus, we will have to be satisfied with this virtual meeting. But anyway, it's a great pleasure to have some interaction with you. And as you know, the topic that has been given, the effective mantras to develop positive personality with leadership traits. Let me start with an episode about the leadership. Just now, as you heard, when I was in Porbandar, we constructed 37 school buildings as a part of earthquake rehabilitation project. As you know, on 26 January, there was a big earthquake in Gujarat. And as is the tradition of Ramakrishna Mission, we immediately swung into action within 5 minutes, we were on the job. And we collected about 20 crores rupees by donation, and we constructed 81 school buildings and 6 colonies as a part of the earthquake rehabilitation project, out of which 37 buildings were constructed in Porbandar district. Now, we requested Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. That time he was not yet the president of India. No. But he was going all over the country meeting the youths. So we had requested him to inaugurate one of the school buildings. So he came there on 13th February 2002 to inaugurate one of the school buildings constructed by us as a part of rehabilitation project. So there were about 3,000 youths, and a question was asked to him: what is the source of inspiration? And Dr. Kalam said, normally I do not leak out this secret, but it is the right place to leak out this secret. Then he said, he was the monitor of his school. When he was in 8th standard, his headmaster called him and said, tonight you bring all the students to the school and let them listen to the running commentary. 15th August 1947, India will become independent. Let them listen to the running commentary. So Dr. Kalam said, I was the monitor of my school. I brought them all to the school at night, midnight. We listened to the running commentary, but we didn't know Hindi or English. We knew only Tamil. So we could not understand much of it. But anyway, we were happy that India has become independent. Then Dr. Kalam says, next day in the newspapers, I saw 2 photographs on the front page. One photograph showing Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, hoisting the tricolor Indian flag on the Red Fort. I was very happy to see that photograph. Then Dr. Kalam says, by the side was a second photograph. And that second photograph was my primary education, my secondary education, my college education, and my life education. And what was that photograph? That photograph was showing that when the whole country was rejoicing because of the independence of India, the one person who sacrificed his whole life and who did maximum for achieving this independence was not rejoicing. He was walking barefooted on the streets of Calcutta, wiping the tears of the people who had been affected by Nawa Kali riots. Mahatma Gandhi. Then he said, I was very much impressed. That was my life education. What is true leadership? What is the nobility of leadership? Had he wanted, Gandhiji could have become himself the Prime Minister of India. But he did not take up any power position. For sacrificing, he was ahead. For getting power position, he was the last. He did not care for power and position. Not only that, he was not rejoicing. He was still doing his duty, wiping the tears of the people who were affected by Noakhali riots. So that is what Dr. Kalam said. I could understand what is the nobility of leadership. You know, the type of leadership that is very popular today is called servant leadership. It was started by Robert Greenleaf in America in 1976 when he wrote a book also on the same topic, servant leadership. Gradually now it has become very popular. What is servant leadership? That is leading by example. Not leading by precept, but leading by example. That is forgetting your ego, forgetting your selfishness. That is servant leadership. Leading by example. At the time of getting credit, you share that credit with others. At the time of sacrifice, you are ahead. At the time of receiving the credit, you are the last. You share it with your team. That is servant leadership. So Dr. Kalam himself demonstrated that servant leadership in his own life. And Swami Vivekananda also practiced servant leadership. You know, when he went to America, it was not only for participating in the World Parliament of Religions that he had gone, because he had traveled all over the country seeing the miseries of the people. He wanted to have a remedy for that. And so he wanted to bring science and technology. So he told Jamshedji Tata, when he was going from Japan to Chicago, Yokohama to Chicago, in the same ship there was Jamshedji Tata. And that time he shared his views. When Jamshedji Tata said he was going to bring some items, he said, no, you start your own industry. And then, so that the employment will be given to the people. And then he said, that is also not only enough, we must have research also. So that is how Indian Institute of Science came up later on in Bangalore. And Jamshedji Tata remembered Swami Vivekananda before starting the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore and wanted his help. And Swami Vivekananda could not help himself because he was preparing to leave the stage of the world. But he put Sister Nivedita on the job, Miss Margaret Noble. He put her on the job, and then anyway that Indian Institute of Science came up. But Swami Vivekananda had gone to America to bring the science and technology for our country, to remove the sufferings of the people. First of all, economic development. Then only he said, because he wanted spirituality to be spread. He wanted practical Vedanta to be spread. But then he remembered the words of his Guru, Sri Ramakrishna, while he was sitting in meditation on the last bit of rock at Kanyakumari, that empty stomachs do not make religion. So, first thing is economic development. Then only his spiritual development will take place. And that's why he had gone to America. And after coming from there, whatever little fund he could create, he could obtain. Immediately after coming back, he put it in the hands of his brother disciple Swami Brahmananji. And he started an institute for removing sufferings of people named Ramakrishna Mission. He did not give his own name. He gave the name of his guru. And he did not become the first president. He made Swami Brahmananji, his brother disciple, the first president. He carried out this servant leadership. For sacrifice, he was ahead. For getting the name and fame and power position and other things, he was the last. He demonstrated it. And because he practiced servant leadership, what was the result? Ramakrishna Mission was started in 1897. When he left his body on 4 July 1902, there were only 5 centers, 1 in New York and 4 in India. And at present, we have 218 centers all over the world. Apart from that, 1,000 non-affiliated centers which are semi-affiliated or which are indirectly controlled by Ramakrishna Mission. But directly controlled itself, we have 218 centers. Of course, there are many sub-centers also, and that the number will go up. So much, and then 14 indoor hospitals, 90 outdoor dispensaries. So much of rural and tribal development project. Just now you heard at Ranchi, Divya and Krishi Vigyan Kendra in Jharkhand. Then in Chhattisgarh, in Narayanpur, among the primitive tribes. I remember my days in Ranchi, 10 years. I used to go to Jamshedpur very often when I was in Krishi Vigyan Kendra. Now I'm very happy to be reconnected with Jamshedpur again today. So that time we tried our best to work for the farmers and for the rural people and the tribal people. Such rural and tribal development projects are taking place all over the country. So all this has taken place. Why? Why it has expanded so much? Why? Because Swami Vivekananda practiced servant leadership. So this servant leadership wants that you should curb your ego, your selfishness, and you should display whatever you want to convey. You convey through your action rather than your preaching. That is leading by example and not leading by precept. That is real leadership. And for that type of leadership, you want 3 Qs. What are the 3 Qs? IQ, EQ, and SQ. IQ, you know very well, intelligence quotient. 1991, Daniel Goleman made a research and found out that EQ is more important than IQ, emotional intelligence. And now the latest discovery of the modern science is SQ. Dana Zohar, she is a professor in Oxford University. The name of the book is SQ, Spiritual Intelligence, the Ultimate Intelligence. That was the first book that was brought out on SQ. Now there are many books that will come out on spiritual intelligence, but this was one of the first books to come out where she has given the scientific evidence of SQ. Neurologically, physiologically, biologically, psychologically, from every point of view, there is something called SQ, which is the basis of both IQ and EQ. What is IQ? IQ will tell you how to play the game of life. What is EQ? EQ will tell you how to play the game of life under changed circumstances with changed strategies. And what is SQ? SQ will tell you why to play the game of life. What is the purpose of life? What is the meaning of life? Why we are here on this earth? That will be guided by SQ. And then she says, Dana Zohar says, it's very unfortunate. We are living in a dumb society where minimum attention is given to SQ. And that is why we are lacking in leadership skills. A leader with high SQ will be able to exert his influence in a very subtle way, but in a sure way. So this development of SQ is what we need today. And today you find that most of the people, they may be having high IQ, but low EQ, no SQ. That is the problem. She gives a beautiful example, a very funny example. By the side of the Mexican coast, there was a management consultant from Harvard University. And a little distance, there was a fisherman who was sleeping in his boat. It was afternoon. And this management consultant says, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you not fishing?" Then he was in his sleeping mode. He said, "Yes, sir, you know what happened this morning? I got a very big catch. So I sold that fish. I got very good money. And that is enough for my today's needs. My quota is over. And so I am enjoying my rest." What? Is there any quota system here? You must earn more money. But what will I do with extra money? I have got enough. Why? You should deposit. Deposit? We never heard the word deposit. Yes. Open a bank account. Jandan Yojana. And open a bank account and go on and deposit money. Then what? Go on depositing. When you got enough money, purchase another boat. Then you will get more fishes. What will I do with that? You sell those fishes, then you will get more money. But what will I do with that money? Again, you deposit. Then again, you purchase another. So you will have a big fleet of so many boats. Then you will become CEO of a multinational company. Then you move your headquarters from Mexico to New York. and open branches all over the world and go here or travel all over the world, go on expanding. Then naturally, when you travel too much, of course, there will be blood pressure, then there will be bypass surgery. And when there are 3 bypass surgeries and the doctor says no more, then you retire, sell the company, come back to me. I am an investment expert from Harvard. I will tell you how to invest money, where to invest money. And when you invest like this, there will be fixed income. And you will get fixed income every month and you will be able to sleep nicely. I was sleeping nicely. It is you who woke me up. Such a roundabout procedure. Itna lamba chakkar. Dana Zohar says, this fisherman has got low IQ, doesn't know how to make money. This management expert has got high IQ, he knows how to make money. But this fisherman has got high SQ, he knows the purpose of life is to have happiness and peace. Whereas this management expert does not know, he has got low SQ, he doesn't know what is the aim of life, what is the purpose of life, why we are working, what is the aim. So, a real leader will have all the 3, IQ, EQ, SQ. And because of his unselfishness, because of his egolessness, he will be able to exert more influence. So now we talk about the total personality development, effective mantras. And these are all both are connected, because unless until there is a total personality, you will not be able to become a proper leader. Now, what is the real personality? Positive personality. Positive personality is a personality which gives a positive influence. A person come in contact with a positive personality will get positive vibes. You might have noticed, if you meet a few persons, you get negative vibes. Well, outwardly appearing to be good, maybe highly educated, whatever, but you feel, and he will be always talking negative, and after meeting him 5-10 minutes, you also feel that yes, everything is bad, and I should also commit suicide along with him. This is all negative thinking. So, this positive personality will come by positive thinking. So, there are 5 things we have to remember, 5 mantras, 5 formulas you have to remember for developing a positive personality. Number 1 is self-confidence. You might have observed that many persons, they have got a lot of knowledge, but they cannot share with others. Not only that, during the interview they fail. While communicating they fail. Why? Because of lack of self-confidence. Now this confidence will come by development of PMA, positive mental attitude. Avoiding NMA, negative mental attitude. So, and this will come by thinking positive thoughts. So we have to bombard our mind with positive thoughts every day. It is not a matter of 1 day or 2 days. Continuously, every day, we have to bombard our mind with positive thoughts. So, doing is very good, but that comes from thinking. That is why place good thoughts day and night before your mind, and then will come the transformation, says Swami Vivekananda. It's a small book, Thoughts of Power. Beautiful book, collection of the very powerful thoughts from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda, 9 volumes, Thoughts of Power, where he says, doing is very good, but that comes from thinking. Fill the mind, therefore, with highest thoughts. Place them day and night before you, and out of that will come great work. So, this PMA, positive mental attitude, is very important. Then next is self-confidence, self-reliance, depending on yourself. For each and everything, the more you are dependent on others, the more your independence goes. Not only that, your success rate goes down. Not only that, your positivity goes down. So try to be self-reliant. Of course, that does not go, I'm not telling against the principle of division of labor, against the principle of delegating the work. to the proper person in proper way. I'm not saying against that. That is very important for time management and stress management. This delegating the powers and delegating the work along with the powers. I'm not talking about that at present. What I'm talking about is trying to be self-reliant, and this self-reliance and self-confidence will go together. So many people, they think that, oh, भाग्य में होगा तो देखा जाएगा. No. भाग्य किसने बनाया? Who has built? Destiny. Is there nothing called destiny? Yes. But who built the destiny? Who built the destiny? The law of karma says, as you sow, so you reap. Some people say, we do not believe in the law of karma. I said, whether you believe it or not, the law of karma will act. These are all lighthouse principles. Stephen Covey, the book is there by Stephen Covey, you must have read it. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where he gives the example of a ship that is going. On the side, there is a light, and they feel that is another ship is coming. And so the captain gave the wireless message, please move your ship by 20 degrees. And from the other side, there was the reply, you please move your ship. Now the captain was very much annoyed, and he told over wireless, I am the captain of the ship commanding you to move your ship. Who is at the other end? And the reply came, sir, I am a humble operator of the lighthouse. So if you don't want to change your direction, well, welcome. I don't mind. I am sitting on the lighthouse. So these are like lighthouse principles. If you do not follow the lighthouse principles, you will be shattered. These are all lighthouse principles. You say, I don't believe in the law of gravitation. Go to the top floor, the terrace of a multi-story building, and declare, I do not believe in the law of gravitation, and jump. What happens? Next day, newspapers will bring out your photograph. This person did not believe in the law of gravitation, and yet the law of gravitation worked. Similarly, the law of gravitation, these are all lighthouse principles. The law of karma is a lighthouse principle. As you sow, so you reap. If you do a good action, you will get good result. So our destiny is nothing but our past actions. Whatever we are doing today, whatever we are receiving today, is nothing but our own, the result of our own actions in the past. So if my present is determined by my past actions, that very thing proves that my future will be decided by my present action. And so you are the creator of your own destiny. Tum swayam apne bhagya ke nirmata. You are the creator of your own destiny. So depend on yourself. Self-reliance is very important. Then comes self-control. Unless until you have control yourself, unless until you can control your mind, you will not be able to control the outward situation. That is number one. Second, more importantly, if you want success in everything, the most important thing for getting success for a true leader is concentration of mind. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the secret of success in trade, in war, in every management of human affairs is the concentration of mind. And that's why Swami Vivekananda said, if I had to do my education over again, I will not undergo the present system of education. First, I will control how to control my mind. First, I will control my mind. Then, information, I can have at my own will. I can go to a library and get all the information. That's what Swami Vivekananda said. Now you need not go to library. Just Google search, click, and you get all the information on the tip of your finger. So information is not education. Education is not the amount of information that goes into your brain and runs undigested all your life, says Swami Vivekananda. So this concentration of mind. So Swami Vivekananda says, if I had to do my education over again, I will not go through the present system of education. First, I will try to know how to control my mind, how to concentrate my mind. You know, he has so much of concentration, yet he wanted more. How much he had? I'll just give 2 examples. As you know, just now you heard, the Ramakrishna Mission was started by Swami Vivekananda. We have 220 branches. The headquarters is in Belumat, by the side of the Ganges, near Kolkata. So if you go to Bellumat, you will find a very big campus. There is a big temple of Sri Ramakrishna. Just behind that, there is a two-storied building. On the first floor, there is a room where Swami Vivekananda used to stay. That room has been preserved as it is. If you go today, you will feel as if Swami Vivekananda is still there. His table, his chair, his turban, his clothes, his stick, his musical instrument, everything is there. So it is in that room that Swami Vivekananda left his body in meditation on 4th of July 1902 at the age of 39 years. I am talking about is a few days before his passing away. Swamiji was sitting there in his room and he was reading a book. The name of the book is Encyclopedia Britannica. And all the volumes were spread on the floor and he was reading. At that time, his disciple came. The name of the disciple is Sharat Chandra Chakravarti. Yes, Mrs. Chakravarti, this is the same Chakravarti. Sharat Chandra Chakravarti. He writes in his diary that when I went there, I saw so many books are spread there and Swamiji, and he was so many books, so many volumes. My God, it will take whole lifetime to finish all these volumes. Swamiji said, what do you say? Only few days back these volumes have arrived. Already I have finished 10 volumes and I am reading the 11th volume. And Sharat Chakravarti said, what do you say? You have finished 10 volumes within few days? I can't believe. Swamiji said, you can't believe? Okay. From these first 10 volumes, you ask any question that you want to ask. And the disciple asked so many questions. And Swamiji replied all the questions and correct replies, sometimes quoting the very language of the book. Then the disciple was very much astonished. Swamiji, this is the miracle. Swamiji said, this is not miracle. This is the power of concentration of mind. If your concentration of mind, 10-hour study can be done in 1 hour. I tell many students, 10-hour study can be in 1 hour. And the students ask, sir, Swamiji, how is it possible? 10-hour study in 1 hour? I say it is not. It is possible because at present you are doing 1 hour study in 10 hours. You take up the book, the eyes are in the book, and the mind is roaming here and there. So you have to turn the pages again. So at present we are doing 1 hour study in 10 hours. When we get concentration of my 10-hour study can then be done in 1 hour. And not only study in everything, you will get success. When Swami Vivekananda went to America second time, first he went for the Parliament of World Religion, as you know, in 1893, and he delivered his historic speech on 9/11, 11th September. That was also 9/11, 1893. But because we did not listen to his message of 9/11 at that time, so there was another 9/11 after 108 years. In 2001, that Twin Towers, that World Trade Center were affected, were destroyed. Because we did not listen to the message of Swami Vivekananda of saying goodbye to all sorts of fanaticism, all sorts of dogmatism, all sorts of sectarianism. Anyway, then Swamiji came back in 1897, started Ramakrishna and went again 1899. I am talking about 1899 visit. This time he went to the western coast also. And there is San Francisco, there is a beautiful place called Camp Taylor. There he was passing through a bridge. At that time it was a wooden bridge. Now it has become concrete. When I saw, it was a concrete bridge. But Swami Vivekananda, when he went, that time it was a wooden bridge. So Swamiji was crossing that small river through a wooden bridge. That time he saw 4 cowboys trying to shoot at the axes that were floating in water. And there was a string of 12 axes and that was floating in water. And these 4 cowboys were trying to shoot, but their shots were going in vain. Now Swamiji stood for some time and he was watching and he could not help smiling. Now these 4 cowboys became very much annoyed. What? You are laughing at us? Is it a small job to shoot at the axes that are floating in water? Okay, we give you the challenge. Let's just see how do you do it. And they handed over the gun to Swamiji. So what to do? Swamiji took up the gun and aimed the axes and 12 axes gone in 12 shots. And these 4 cowboys, they were very much astonished. Swami, how long you are practicing? We are practicing from 5 years. We could not do it. How long you are practicing? Swamiji said, my dear friends, I'm holding the gun for the first time. Huh? First time? And you shared 12 axes in 12 shots? That's a miracle. Swamiji said, this is not miracle. This is the power of concentration of mind. So concentration of mind is very important. How concentration of mind will come? By control of mind. If you have control of mind, concentration of mind will come. C, and that how that will come? C is directly proportional to P, where C is equal to concentration of mind, P is equal to purity of mind. Pure the mind, the greater is the control of mind, the greater is the concentration of mind. So, how to get purity then? Again, another equation. Aha shuddho, sattva shuddho, dhruva smriti. If our intake is pure, then our mind will become pure. What is intake? Intake is not only through the mouth, is also through the eyes, through the ears. So remember the 3 monkeys of Gandhiji. I hope you remember. Do not look at evil, do not listen to evil, do not speak evil. Now I'll tell you about 3 monkeys of Switzerland. One of us, Swamiji, had gone to Switzerland for preaching Vedanta. Then by the side of lake, he saw an image of 3 monkeys, but very strange monkeys. So far, he had seen the image with 3 monkeys. 1 monkey, 2 eyes closed. Second monkey, 2 ears closed. Third monkey, mouth closed. Here he found 3 out of 3 monkeys. 1 monkey had 1 eye closed, 1 open. Second monkey, 1 ear closed, 1 open. Third monkey, half mouth closed, half open. He was very much astonished. He had never seen such monkeys. Now, what these monkeys are trying to give the message? Those 3 monkeys we know. Do not look at evil, do not listen to evil, do not speak evil. But what are the 3 monkeys of Switzerland telling? Then he was thinking for a long time. Then he remembered a shloka from the Vedas and he got the meaning. What was the shloka? Bhadram karnebhi shrunuyama deva Bhadram pashe makshabi jatra Sirairangai stustuvagam sastanubihi Vashema deva hitayyadayuhu Swastina indro vriddhashava Swastina pusha vishwaveda Swastina staksho arishtanemi Swastino brihatpati dadhatu Bhadram karnebhi shrunuyama deva. Listen to the good things. Don't listen to bad things. 1 ear is closed, but 1 ear is open. Listen to good things. Bhadram pashe makshabhi jatra. Don't listen to bad, see bad things, but see good things. Don't see bad pictures. Don't on the TV, but you can watch good programs. Don't read bad books, but read the books of Swami Vivekananda. Read the books that gives you power, that gives you positivity. Read the books on self-development, and that gives you power. Now, do not speak ill of others. Do not criticize others, but have a word of appreciation for others. So if we take pure food, have an intake of pure food through our senses and refuse to take impure food, gradually our mind will become pure, and once the mind becomes pure, we will have more and more of concentration of mind. And second thing, we will have to have control over mind, and that control of mind will come by control of life. And how the control of life will come? By regularity. So regularity is a must. You must have a fixed routine. All the students, make it a point to have some routine. You can have your own routine. Try to follow your own routine. If you are not able to follow, change the routine. Make it more practicable, but follow a routine. That will help in controlling the mind. So I asked many students, अच्छा भैया सुबह कितने बजे उठते हो? कुछ निश्चित नहीं, कभी 8 बजे 9 बजे, रविवार तो 9 भी बज जाता है। अच्छा भैया तुम्हें रात को सोते कितने बजे हो? कुछ निश्चित नहीं, कभी 10 बजे 11 बजे 12 बजे, अच्छा पिक्चर हो तो 1 भी बज जाता है। अच्छा भाई तुम्हारा पढ़ाई का टाइम क्या है? कुछ निश्चित नहीं, मूड आता पढ़ लेते हैं। तुम्हारा खाने का टाइम क्या है? कुछ निश्चित नहीं, भूख लगते खा लेते हैं। फिर मेरे पास आते बोलते हैं, अच्छा स्वामी जी एकाग्रता कब आएगी? मैं कुछ निश्चित नहीं है। जब तुम्हारा कुछ निश्चित नहीं है तो एकाग्रता भी निश्चित नहीं। सो वी हैव टू हैव ए रूटीन। हमारा मन, यदि हमारा जीवन जितना नियंत्रित होगा उतना हमारा मन नियंत्रित होगा, और जीवन जितना नियमित होगा उतना जीवन नियंत्रित होगा, जीवन नियंत्रित होगा उतना हमारा मन नियंत्रित होगा। सो if we can control our routine, we have a routine, fixed routine, gradually mind will become attuned to that routine. Then we will have a control of our life. That will have control over mind. And the better control of mind will again lead us to the concentration and success in each and every endeavor. So that is self-control is a must. And then comes self-knowledge. How all this will come when we have self-knowledge. What is self-knowledge? Knowing our potentiality. Each soul is potentially divine, Swami Vivekananda said. There is infinite power behind each and every soul. Infinite power, unlimited power. This is the basic nature of each and every human being. Behind this body-mind complex, there is a center of consciousness having infinite power, about which Swami Vivekananda told in the Parliament of World Religion in Chicago. And the Americans were so much enamored. For the first time, they had a message of hope. They had a message of hope. Because so far they were thinking we are sinners, we are helpless, we are miserable. But Swami Vivekananda said, no, you're not sinners. You're not miserable. You're not weak. You've got infinite power within you. He quoted the shloka from the Shveta Upanishad in this Parliament of World Religion and said, Shrumantu Vishwe Amritasya Putraha Aye Dhamani Divyani Tastu Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditavarnam Tamasa Parastat Tamev Viditvati Vritameti Nanya Panta Viditayanaya. I have found the ancient one is beyond all miseries. By knowing him alone, you shall be free from all miseries. And then he said, my dear sisters and brothers from America, let me call you this sweet name, Amrita Saputra. Ye, the children of immortal bliss, holy and perfect beings, ye divided on us sinners, it is a sin to call a man so. It is a standing libel on human nature. Come up, alliance, and shake off the delusion that you are sheep. Your souls immortal, spirits free, blessed and eternal. You are not matter, you are not bodies. Matter is a servant, not ye the servant of matter. So this is the message that he delivered in the Parliament of World Religion. That is why they got so much of hope. And then he, of course, not in the Parliament of World Religion, later on he gave that, he said, come up, O lions, and shake up the delusion. And he narrated the story how a lioness was going along the forest and there was a flock of sheep, and in order to go to that one, that lioness jumped. And when she jumped, she was pregnant. So she gave birth to a small cub, and that small cub fell into the flock of sheep. And the lioness went to the other side and died. Now this small cub started weeping. And this mother of the sheep became compassionate, started taking care of the small cub. And this small lion started growing up, going along with the sheep, and eating grass like sheep, and bleating bah, bah, bah like sheep. After a long time, there was a big lion that came to the forest and saw a lot of sheep going bah, bah, bah. But very strange. At the end, there was a small lion, and that was also bleating bah, bah. These big lions, what? Never heard a lion bleating like a sheep. So it came nearer in order to see what it is all about. ये माजरा क्या है देखने के लिए आया नजदीक, और ये बड़े शेर को देख करके जितनी भेड़े इतनी भागने में लगे, बै 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 सब भागने लगे. ये छोटा सा जो शेर था, बै 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 वो भी भागने लग गया. बड़े शेर ने कहा, ए तू कहाँ जाता है? Where are you going? Huh? You are sheep. They are afraid because they are sheep and I am lion. But you are sheep. You are lion like me. Why are you afraid? And then Swamiji said that this lion said, no, bah, bah, bah. No, I am not lion. I am sheep. The big lion said, you fool. You are a lion and still you are saying sheep. You are lion. You are not sheep. But the sheep was not listening. Now he became very much annoyed. Caught hold of the small lion, brought it near a pond of water. Look at your reflection. Look at my reflection. Your face resembles that of mine or that with the sheep. Then the small lion said, my face is like a lion. Yes, you are lion. You are not sheep. Now give up this bleating. And roar like me. Now you are the king of the forest. Then Swami Vivekananda said, this small lion was already lion, but it had forgotten its true nature. This is the story of all of us. Inside each and every human being, there is a center of consciousness, Satchit Ananda, infinite joy, infinite bliss. That is our true nature, but we have forgotten it. And that's why we are bleating, oh, so much coronavirus has come, what will happen? What will happen to me in future? If supposing I get coronavirus, what will happen to me? This economic slowdown has come, what will happen if my job goes? Likewise, we are weeping. Why? Because we have forgotten there is tremendous power inside each and every one of us. Infinite power is inside each and every soul. That we have forgotten. So self-knowledge, the knowledge of the self, will give you self-control, self-reliance, self-confidence. Everything will come. This self-knowledge is important. And how this self-knowledge will come? Each soul is potentially divine. The goal of human life is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Do this either by work or worship or psychic control or philosophy, by one or more or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. Doctrines, dogmas, rituals, temples, churches, mosques are but secondary details. So these are the 4 yogas: Raj Yoga, meditation; Bhakti Yoga, prayer; Gyan Yoga, reflection and reading; and 4th is Karma Yoga, converting work into worship and selfish service. These 4, if we practice in everyday life, gradually SQ will come. Gradually divinity will be manifested. Gradually positivity, more and more positivity will come. And then you will have a positive personality. Then you will have concentration of mind also. Then you have got success also in everything. You will have happiness and peace also in everyday life. All this will come, leading to ultimate reality, leading to infinite happiness, infinite joy, infinite bliss. All this will come by practice of these 4 yogas. So, and the 5th one is self-sacrifice. So, because the time is ending, I will just end with a beautiful sentence that was written by Swami Vivekananda in his letter addressed to Maharaja of Mysore, where he says, "My dear prince, this life is short. The vanities of this world are transient. In this short life, they alone live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive." Everywhere you see so many dead people. मैं, मेरी बीबी, मेरा बच्चा, मेरा मकान, देश जाए भाड़ में. Everywhere, all people are so selfish, so self-centered, and that's why they are miserable. So Swami Vivekananda says, remember, we have to live for others. If you do not live for others, if that sacrifice, self-sacrifice does not come, if that idea of unselfishness does not come, then you are not having a positive personality. And you cannot have happiness and peace. You cannot have self-confidence. Unselfishness is more paying in the long run. Unfortunately, people do not have the passions to practice it. So that is why all around this negativity is there, because of our self-centeredness. So that is why this self-centeredness can go if we have this spirit of self-sacrifice. So you find all dead people. So you have to bring life to these dead people. How it will come? By electric shock. How that electric shock will come? That electric shock will come by reading the books of Swami Vivekananda. These are not my words. These are the words of French savant Romain. He was a Nobel Prize winner. Rabindranath Tagore, another Nobel Prize winner. Both Nobel Prize winners in literature. Rabindranath Tagore told Romain, if you want to know India, study Vivekananda. In him, everything is positive, nothing negative. And when Romain read the books, he was so much enamored and so much charmed and so much influenced that he wrote a book on Swami Vivekananda. And then about the words of Swami Vivekananda, he said, his words are great music, phrases in the style of Beethoven. I cannot touch these sayings of his scattered as they are through the pages at a 30th distance without receiving a thrill through my body like an electric shock. And what a type of shock must have been generated when the words came out from the lips of the hero. That's what Romain says. So these electric shock will come. These words are like electric shock. They are so thrilling. So I would request all the friends, my dear young friends, students, please make a habit of recharging your mobile battery that you are already doing every day night. Now, along with that, you must recharge your mental battery also. And how to recharge the mental battery? when you put the plug into the socket for your mobile battery, take up a book of Swami Vivekananda in hand. By the time the mobile battery is charged, your mental battery will be also charged. Positivity will come. All these things will come, and this total positive personality will come up, leadership traits will come up, and the total positive personality will come, and all the self-confidence, self-reliance, self-control, self-sacrifice, and self-knowledge. These 5 mantras I have given you, all these will come. Read the books of Swami Vivekananda, but that is not enough. Think over that. At least try to, one sentence, one powerful sentence, whatever has influenced you, try to put into practice. And gradually you will find tremendous power coming to you, positivity coming to you, your personality becoming positive, and you will start exerting influence on others by your positivity. So I'm very happy we have come to the end of the program. I wanted to end up at 4:45, but somehow the other it is exceeded. Why? But doesn't matter. If you have some time, I'm ready for some replying to your questions.
Yes, audience, any questions? You may raise your questions. Keep your video on. Come on the screen and ask the question to River Swamiji. Audio should be on, speaker should be on, and video should also be on. You please come on the screen as Swamiji wishes to see you that who is questioning, and so that directly he can answer your questions and we can see your reactions. So please, any questions, please come on the screen and you can ask it. Okay, Ishita?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, start asking question.
Yes.
Yeah, student. From student part first and audience, others audience. Please come on the screen. Don't get hesitant. Swamiji is here to show you that the right direction. Please come on the screen. Please show yourself so that Swamiji can also see you and answer you properly. You will get satisfied. Any question? Please feel free to come on the screen. Yeah, Ishita. Yes, Dr. Ishita?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Please ask questions.
Durgesh, you are asking.
Durgesh, you please come on the screen. Durgesh, don't get ready. There is one question from one of the students that Durgesh, can you please come on the screen so that Swamiji can see you and can answer you properly? How create interest in boring subject? How to create interest in boring subject? Durgesh, please come on the screen. Swamiji, one of the students is asking how to create interest in boring subject. In chat section, actually, he has raised the question. In chat section.
Oh, Durgesh Sahu. How create interest in boring subject? Oh, there's a question. How to get interest in boring subject. Now, this was the problem of Dr. Kalam. He used to get less marks in the examination in mathematics. So his mathematics teacher got hold of him. Hey, what has happened to you? Because I am finding it very boring. Then his teacher himself took interest in him, and then he started getting maximum marks. So it is a question of our outlook of life. We should fill ourselves that no, whatever I am feeling weakness, if I am feeling boring, I will see to it that I will master it. Maybe I give a little more time and take the help of your friend or take the help of another teacher. Sometimes what happens when you do not understand particular thing, then you do not get interest. That also happens. So Dr. Kalam used to say, to create interest in the topic, that is the job of a teacher. That is the job of a teacher. He said, my teacher took us to the seashore and showed us this is how the bird flies. And that is how he was so much enamored. Then he thought, well, I will fly. I will fly in the aeroplane. And then he wanted to become pilot, but he could not become pilot. But later on, he became president of India. And again, he was in charge of the whole air wing of the army, whatever it is. But this interest came. This was developed. The teacher took interest and interest in that. So you can approach a teacher, you can approach your friend and try to get your clearance, try to get the concepts clear. That will help you to develop interest in that topic. And as I told you, second thing that I told you, when you develop concentration of mind, automatically you will find you are able to go deeper into the subject. And when you go deeper and when you're able to understand, you will be able to grasp the whole thing. It will become easy for you. Okay, so I have given two replies. One is that try to take the help of a friend or a teacher, get the concept clear. Second, develop concentration of mind. And I have already told you how to develop concentration of mind, and that will give you the better power to understand the topic. Okay, any other?
Any more questions from other participants?
May I ask a question, please, Swamiji?
Manoj Kumar Oja, thank you for the lecture. Okay, Manoj Kumar Oja.
Yeah, Shita, please come on the screen now. Please come.
I want.
Okay. Please raise question.
Swamiji, may I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
My question is, pure and innocent minds are always baffled by wicked minds. We are unable to control our mind. Would you
Controlling the mind.
Yes.
Yeah, very nice question. As I told you, control of the mind will come from two things. Number one, purity and regularity. Two things, purity, regularity. Try to make a timetable for your life, for life in the home also. You have a timetable in the school and college. There are periods. But what happens when you come back to home or to a hostel? Oh, then everything is gone. There also you should have a timetable. There should be regularity. You should have fixed time for eating, fixed time for study, fixed time for even entertainment, fixed time for your internet chatting, going together. No cheating should be there, only chatting. That also should be reduced. Anyway, if you can control your use of social media, if you can control the use of your chatting, you will find you are getting more and more concentration. Okay, so that is how you try to get more concentration and you will be able to control the mind. And every day you must have some time apart for bombarding your mind with positive thoughts, as I told you earlier. This everyday input of positive thoughts is a must if you really want to have continuous inspiration and in order to make your mind controlled, in order to make your mind pure, and the purity of mind will lead you to the control of mind. So two things for control of mind: purity, which will come through which will come by intake, good intake, pure intake, and second, a fixed routine, regularity of life will lead you to the control of mind. Okay.
My next part of the question was, pure and innocent minds are more often baffled by wicked minds. How to take control over that?
Okay. Your pure mind is baffled by impure minds.
Yes.
Okay. Now, why it is done? Because you are weak, isn't it?
That is what I'm asking, Swamiji, how to take control over that.
Yeah. So
how to get immune to these things.
That is because at present your mind is so weak that it is getting influenced. So you have to make your mind strong. This mind strong, why weaknesses come? Can you tell me? I will tell you, give the example. Now, supposing you are fasting. Okay? अभी श्रावण का महीना आएगा, फास्टिंग शुरू होगा, पर लोगों का वेट बढ़ जाता है क्योंकि फास्टिंग में क्या करते हो, भोजन नहीं करते हो, दूसरा बहुत सारा खाते हैं तो फलाहार बहुत ज्यादा हो जाता है. एनीवे, बट व्हेन वी आर फास्टिंग, we are not taking rice, we are not taking chapati, but we are taking other items. Why? So that our body does not become weak. Okay? Even fasting also, we are taking something so that our mind does not become weak. What happens to our mind? You are not taking any food. Gandhiji said, prayer is my food for my soul. Prayer is food for my mind. Meditation is food for my mind. The good reading, powerful thoughts is a food for my mind. And this food we are not taking. Why? No time. We are so busy. We have so much of homework. We have so many items. We have so much of chatting. We have so much of social media. We have so many channels. So now no time for prayer, no time for meditation, no time for reading books of Swami Vivekananda, reading good books. And then what happens? Because you are not taking any powerful thoughts, because you are not praying, you are not meditating, what happens? Your mind becomes weak, and suddenly one day there is complete failure. A little problem and that boy or girl commits suicide. Why? Because mind is so weak, and this mind is becoming overpowered by the other wicked minds. Why? Because your mind has become weak. Why your mind has become weak? Because no food. And what is the food for mind? The food for mind is powerful food. Food for mind is prayer. Food for mind is meditation. So try to increase your time of meditation, prayer, and try to decrease your time of negative thoughts. Then you will find you will be able to exert influence over the wicked minds.
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for this great explanation. Another question.
Swamiji, and another, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Ishita, is it over?
I wanted to ask another question.
Yes.
I wanted to ask if the present education system is producing certificate holders only, or are they giving the human part of the life, human part of the feelings to the students?
You know better. You know better what you are getting. I personally feel that part is lacking. So
Yes,
many
sir.
places, that is the one part. What Swami Vivekananda said, what we want is man making education, character building education. And what we are doing is demon making education, not man making education. So that is what is lacking. We are giving more emphasis on percentage of marks. We are giving more emphasis on physics, chemistry, mathematics, percentage, this and that. But what about life skill? What about you are becoming a better human being? Now today this is such an important topic you have given up, you have taken up. What a wonderful topic, that how to develop positive personality with leadership traits. These are all the things that should come more often, and this should become a part of the syllabus itself. Every student should be given this exposure to how to develop total personality, how to develop character. At present, we are only bothered about career development, but character development, career development should go in hand. That is most important.
Yes, definitely, Swamiji. There are some questions in the chat box. May I read it?
Yeah. Anumita Shengupta.
Anumita ma'am has asked his advice in the difficult times of this pandemic, which book of Swami Vivekananda we should refer to, and to help us get through this difficult time.
Okay. I did not
Sir,
get it.
one of our faculty wanted to know, please advise, Anumita Shengupta, please advise us in these difficult times of this pandemic, which book we should read of Swami Vivekananda to refer for referring to help us to get us through these difficult times.
Okay, very good, very good. So what I will tell you, one book is very small book, as I told you, Thoughts of Power. Beautiful book, Thoughts of Power. That is collection of the powerful thoughts of Swami Vivekananda from the 9 complete works of volumes of Swami Vivekananda. That is one book. Second book is Swami Vivekananda, the Friend of All. very inspiring incidents from the life of Swami Vivekananda. One or two incidents just now I had quoted, what was the power of concentration and all that. That is all taken from the small book, Swami Vivekananda, the friend of all. This book is very good. Then letters of Swami Vivekananda, very powerful. Some of his letters written to Sister Nivita, Miss Margaret Noble, who later on became Sister Nivita. His letter written to Alasinga Perumal, Miss Mary Hall of America. Some of the letters are very powerful. So letters of Swami Vivekananda. And there is one, Talks with Vivekananda. These 4 books, if you go through in the beginning, they are full of powerful thoughts. And this will enable you to develop that positivity. And this positivity will help you to overcome this coronavirus pandemic crisis.
Okay, Swamiji, there is another question from Gyan Prakash. How to be motivated towards the single thing which I admire or want to do in my life?
Very good. So first of all, you try to analyze whether that single thing that you want to do, whether it is good or bad for you. Try to analyze it properly, number one. And so Swami Vivekananda says, hold the ideal 1,000 times. And if you fail 1,000 times, make the attempt once more. So go on. So once you have taken up the ideal, once you have analyzed it, that it is proper for you and it is good for you, and then you pursue it. Do not bother about failures. Failures are the stepping stones to success. Go on pursuing that particular ideal and you will surely succeed. You will surely succeed. But first, your ideal should be rationally established. And you must be very sure that this is the ideal that is good for you. Once that is established, then you have to work very hard and then don't bother about failures, temporary failures. You will achieve the goal.
Thank you, Swamiji, for such pinpointed answers. Next question is from Sikandar Mandal. He wants to know how can we know our ability?
How can we know our ability? That will come when you try to do certain thing. For example, if you want to know your ability, whether you are able to score a century, you will have to play. Without playing, you will not be able to get the ability to know your ability. So practice is what that will make you know your ability. So if you want to know your ability in cricket, you will have to play cricket. If you want to know your ability in physics, you have to give examination in physics and give not only once, you give more times. So ability will be there when you try to analyze yourself. Now it may come through external means or it may be internal means. It may not be by the board of examination. You examine yourself. You will have your own test and try to test in a particular topic whether you are efficient or not. You try to see whether you are able or not. This ability, you can even have a friend with whom you can discuss and both try to know each other's ability. That will give an objective test for you. One is a subjective feeling. What you know about yourself, you try to have introspection. What are the abilities I am having? Try to note down. And then try to have a friend with whom you can share that you please tell me what are my positive points or what are my plus points or minus 9 points. And you tell his points, his minus points and his plus points. Likewise, you can compare also. And then after analysis and introspection, you can come to know. But real test of ability will come when you are in the, for example, real test of your batting will come when you are on the crease. And whether you say when you score a century, that will be the final test of your ability.
Nicely explained, Swamiji. Next question is from Dev Kumar Rai, sir. He wants to ask, does impulsiveness sometimes, can impulsiveness dominate a controlled mind? In that case, is it wrong? Because impulsiveness is a common character of human being.
I did not get.
He asks, can impulsiveness dominate a controlled mind?
Yeah.
And is it wrong? Because impulsiveness is a common character of human being.
Yes. So we should not be guided by impulses. A mature mind always, when a mature mind does not go after impulses. whenever a mature mind tries to take up an action after proper reflection and proper introspection. That is a mature mind. So this trying to do some action only on impulses, that is the nature of the animal. So we have to gradually leave this animal nature and becoming more and more enlightened person. This enlightenment means you have more control over your mind. That means you are less controlled by your impulses and emotions, and you are able to have better EQ, emotional intelligence, and better control over your impulses and emotions. That is EQ. You will have better one. That is the real thing that separates you. That separates you from an animal. An animal and a human being. What is the difference? A human being has better emotional control. An animal goes only in impulses, but a human being has got the capacity of controlling his mind. So that evolution has taken place. This is the proof that you are a better human being. How? You are able to control your mind, your emotions, your impulses. That is the most important thing. And this capability, unfortunately, is going away. And that is why all these problems of depression, disappointment, this depression is coming and suicides are coming. All those because the suicide, nothing but it is only working on impulse. Just an impulse come, let me die and let me die. They are not thinking what will happen afterwards to my relatives. What will happen to them? Just an impulse, and they follow the impulse. So we should stop following our impulses and try to be more reflective, more introspective, and trying to find out whether all our emotions are really good emotions or bad emotions. We must be able to discriminate that one. That's very important.
Thank you, Swamiji, for this nice answer. Any more questions from audience? Principal sir wants to ask how technical education can be made more attractive.
Technical education can be made more attractive.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that I think in the technical education also, if we can have, in America, they do not have so much of the segregation. They have all the lines, they go together. So even in technical, those who are following technical education, you can have some sort of the soft skills like singing, playing, role playing, games, music, drama. There are so many things. The extracurricular activities may be also included. That is one part of it. And second is the, as I told you, apart from career development, this character development, life skill. So life skills and the extracurricular activities. These will make it more interesting, I think. And then, of course, another very important part is the teaching. The teaching methodology is going to be undergoing tremendous transformation. Already because of the coronavirus, we have been compelled to go for online teaching. But even this also will be changing now because this teacher and taught, all these things will go away. Self-teaching will come gradually. And information, there is so much of information that we have got. Now the information is already there with the Google. So at present, our education system is giving only information that will become redundant. And so now we will have to devise, even for technical education, giving more and more importance to practicals, to be the empirical knowledge rather than retrieving the information or transferring the information. So a lot of paradigm shift is going to come. We will be compelled to do that. We'll be compelled to do that in the technical education. It's a very beautiful question, but this needs a lot of thinking and rethinking. And I think this is the right time that we start thinking about it, because afterwards we will have to compel to do it. So better we start thinking about it, changing the scenario, having a paradigm shift in our methodology of technical education. Very good question, but this needs more of introspection, more of analysis. I cannot give up the hand, but I feel that there should be a paradigm shift.
Thank you, Swamiji. Any more questions from anybody else? Any more questions from the audience?
Swamiji, I have a question. It's maybe slightly different from the topic. That in this pandemic situation, actually, my students might be going through much stress. So through this leadership test, they might have today have been more wiser by your talk. But my question is that what will be your words of advice for their employment in this pandemic situation, this in COVID situation?
Yes. What is your question is when there is a pandemic situation and there is
they are going through some stress and
the stress is coming
your advice on what?
Stress due to pandemic.
Yeah. So what are your words of advice for their employment in this stress system, pandemic system?
Yeah.
Because they might be going through some stress. So what will be your advice for their employment?
The solution to unemployment is self-employment.
Right.
Startup. You must go for startup. And fortunately, Government of India has come forward with many schemes for the startups, and a lot of motivational things are coming up. And our students should be now ready not to go only for white-collar jobs. Number one, there are so many employments available which are not white-collar jobs. You should be prepared to take up this. For example, you will find if you want to have a carpenter or electrician, you are not getting in your house. There's some all these types of jobs you are not getting the people. On one hand, you are having unemployment problem. On the other hand, so many people, so many organizations, they tell that what is our main problem is not getting the proper person. So that means this matching has not come up. On one side, there are people who are wanting people, but our problem is not unemployment. Our problem is that not that they are not employable at all. Many of the people, because they are not attuned to the type of job that are available, they are not ready for taking up the job. So we have to make these people more employable, number one. And second, self-employment should be given more importance. Self-employment, that should be given more importance. Startups should be given more importance. Okay?
Thank you, Maharaj, for your kind advice.
Another question is there from Shahiba. He has asked, I am stressed because I don't have support of my family to follow my passion. How to overcome my stress and make my parents support me?
Yeah. Now the thing is that what you want, you have got some passion, you want to go follow it. Now sometimes what happens that the parents have got, they have got old fashioned, they have got their own thinking. So there has to, the only thing that comes is through dialogue. So you have to have patience. You must have patience. You try to make them understand what are your ambitions and what are your desires, and let them also try to understand you. You also try to understand why they are telling no. And there has to be a dialogue. That is number one. Number two, better to go for an aptitude test. Once you go to an aptitude test, and when the social scientist tells that your capabilities are in this line, then you got a better, better way to convince your parents that, you see, even the psychologists are also telling that I have got my capabilities in this field, so you please allow me to follow this field and this dream of mine. So try to take the help of your friends and the psychologists and others. Okay.
Thank you, Swamiji, for such an enlightening session. Everybody has thanked you for this enlightening words and real pieces of information and advice.
One more question has come here.
Yes, sir.
Shiv Kumar Singh. Millennial childs, also called Generation Y, are said to be technology savvy or digital natives. How can this generation balance between fast-changing technological world and human values which is getting eroded? Very nice question, beautiful question. These human values are getting eroded and we have to have a balance. So there should be, as I told you, I don't mind taking up the technology. I don't mind that you make full use of the latest technology. I am full for it. But there has to be a judicious use of this technology, number one. And number two, as I told you, some time should be reserved. Some time should, 86,400 seconds are deposited in everybody's account. At least 1% of your time, 864 seconds, not even 15 minutes, 14.5 minutes. Try to get at least 1% of time for your total personality development, for your positive personality development. At least 1% of your time you try to give to that. That is very important. If you can give more, that is still more wonderful. At least give 1% of your time for this positive personality development. That is prayer, meditation, and little bit of good reading, positive thoughts, bombarding positive thoughts every day, and some little unselfish service. Try to combine these four. So 1% of your time, if not more, try to develop. You will find within 2-3 months there will be changes coming in your mind, and mind becoming more and more positively oriented. Okay, any more question? So very nice. I'm very happy to have met you over this, at least not actually, but at least on internet we are able to see each other. That is very good. And I give all my love and best wishes to all those who are listening to the program today. And let us try our best to have a positive personality development for these 4 or 5 formulas, as I told you: self-confidence, self-reliance, self-sacrifice, and self-knowledge. And try to follow them, and gradually we will be able to make change in our own self, and we will be able to change the society, and we will be a part of a better society. And let us try to fulfill the dream of Swami Vivekananda, whose dream was चरित्र निर्माण के द्वारा राष्ट्र निर्माण और राष्ट्र निर्माण के द्वारा विश्व निर्माण. He wanted India shall conquer the whole world by spiritual culture. भारत फिर से विश्व गुरु बनेगा. And he said India shall become so great that its past glory will fade into insignificance. We have to fulfill that dream. Dr. Kalam said India 2020, a vision of the new millennium.
Yeah.
It's 2020. By 2020, we should have become a developed country. We have not become. So we have to fulfill that dream. We have to work harder. At the same time, now we have to give more importance to the soft skills also, along with the technical knowledge. Along with career development, we must give importance to character development. That will lead us to national development, and that will lead us to the development of the whole nation, making India a developed nation, and we'll go forward. Okay, all the best to all of you.
So we have just concluded an encouraging session with Swamiji. Swamiji's guidance has created us to understand various aspects of leadership qualities, 5 mantras, which will go a long way in elevating ourselves to a level from where we can have a better understanding of various challenges that we encounter in our lives under different circumstances. It will definitely enlighten us to a greater degree. We are greatly indebted to Revert Swamiji for sharing his valued thoughts with us this evening. Thank you, Swamiji. Our gratitude is also due to Revert Swami Shankarashananda Maharaj for all the technical support to create a link for Facebook Live. Thank you, Swamiji. My sincere gratitude to our Honorable Chairman, Dr. S.K. Singh of BACT, for his constant support to organize the webinar. And my heartfelt thanks to Principal Sir, Mr. U.C. Singh, to encourage us continuously to organize such type of webinar. My special thanks goes to Dr. Ishita Ghosh, HOD, Head of the Department, Basic Science and Humanities, BA College of Engineering and Technology. She has put all the efforts and technical support to conduct and organize the webinar since day one. Thank you, Ishita. I thank all the faculties and students of BACT for their participation in the program. We are thankful to all the participants from various colleges and institutes, namely Patanda Degree College, NIT Jamshedpur, Arkajan University Jamshedpur, Institute of Education, JSHL Haryana, Balarampur College, NSHM Knowledge Campus, Durgapur, Mrs. KMP Vocational College, Jamshedpur, BIT Sindri, Government Polytechnic, Putri, Bokaro, IIT Bhubaneswar, Government Polytechnic, Simdega, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Asansol, Subhas Institute of Technology, Girirdi, Tal Brothers, Motors, Jamshedpur, so etc. Thank you once again, Swamiji, for being with us this evening and for your to shower your blessings on us. And I hope very near future also very soon we will have another opportunity to hear you. So here we are ending the program. Dr. Ishita?
Yes,
Hello,
yes, ma'am.
hello.
Yeah, can you, did you wish to say something?
Yes, sir,
Hello.
please. Yes, yes, sir, we are listening,
Yeah.
please.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you can speak. We are
Hello.
listening, sir.
Yeah, Swamiji, we are
Yeah.
most obliged to you for sharing your time with us. It is a great session, sir. And really, we have seen how the three Qs and five mantras. It is a great session and imparting to us a very good things on leadership. Because, sir, we have seen the leadership. It has deteriorated a lot in practically in industry. Every seniors are just grabbing the opportunity for their rise. And really, whatever you have shared here, how it can be connected with spirituality and how it can be distributed, successes can be shared with the all across the team. Nice to hear you, sir.
Thank you.
Ishita, please say a few words to Swamiji.
Thank you.
Dr. Ishita,
Yes. Finally, I would like
please
to
say something. Yeah.
uh, finally I would like to conclude the session and thank all of the esteemed audience for joining, and special thanks to Revered Swamiji Maharaj for telling us the five very vital mantra, and hope all of the audience will go back home with these mantras and will create a life which will be able which they will be able to follow, such that they are able to come over the hindrances and lead an effective life. The five mantras I would again repeat before concluding the session. They are Atmavishwas, Atmanirbharata, Atmaniyantran, Atmagyan, and Atmasamarpan. Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.